Bahadur Shah Zafar. He was king, and at the last moment, everybody would be knowing. He was craving for that do gaz zameen. दो गज जमीन मिली कुए यार, कितना है बदनसीब जफर दफन के लिए दो गज जमीन मिली कुए यार. So the land is so important because the roots are there. So many stories. Mehdi Hasan, when he came here and he visited the village, the place, and then there he started crying like anything. I don't remember the name, but the person had gone to visit the native land and he said that I want 2 bricks from here. And that 2 bricks cost them so much high that lot of things he had to do for the visa and all these things, difficulties that he had to pay about those 2 bricks. But can you imagine those 2 bricks were so important for him? Why? He had achieved so much, but those memories of the land. Ravi Shankar when came here, Ravi Shankar, well-known sitarist, he got everything, name, fame, everything. But when he came to Allahabad, and it's the life story, and he was presented a rose garden, a bouquet, he just touched it like this and said, "Wo to bhalo gulab, America ke paga jayega." Means such a beautiful rose, you cannot get it in US. Was the rose different? Was the fragrance different? But he could sense the different fragrance. So that is the essence of the psyche. All this material word is there, but the essence is the root. And for roots are the sign of the identity. Now, how the diaspora has been depicted in literature, Madam sitting here would be knowing much better than me, but what I, being interested in novel and all these things, these persons, they have depicted the diaspora story as an alienated person. Alienation, sense of alienation, identity crisis. That's true. S. Naipaul, Nobel Prize winning British writer, he written House for Mr. Biswas, Enigma. When he visited Allahabad, he wanted to go to Azamgarh, a village in eastern UP, and he went there to trace his roots because his great-grandfathers had gone there to Trinidad as a laborer to work in the sugar plantations. Salman Rushdie, controversial figure. But he has also written about the alienation. The negative picture is light quite over there. Jhumpa Lahiri. You must be knowing about Jhumpa Lahiri, young generation. She was awarded Booker Prize and she was with Obama and it was a pride for her. And Jhumpa Lahiri has written this novel. This novel is novel, but this is the whole psychology about the conflict management, the resolution of the conflict management. The main character is Gogoi, and then he resolves, first he reacts towards this name, why this name, am I Bengali, I'm American, all these things, and then he resolves that the whole story. But here I would question that if it is so, if it is all negative, then why so many people are going over there and why they are getting success? Then there is name of Lakshmi Mittal also, then there is a name of Bobby Jindal also, then there is a name of Nikki Haley also. Although they are second generation diaspora, but still, the first generation diaspora, they are also happy over here. So what was the process? How they resolved their conflict management is also important. And I personally feel that nobody can remain in confusion for a long time. There is a need for survival. There is a need to resolve this that conflict, and that survival need is so important then the person tries. It's just like that you are in a stream and then you start putting your hand like this and you will swim. So this is the whole story about this. Piaget, a great psychologist, he said that adaptation and assimilation, these are the two things. And it starts from the very beginning with the newborn baby. Then there is another psychologist, Erikson, who has written about the identity confusion, and the development, and he also says that the identity is rooted in culture. And what is culture? Where the person lives, the values, the norms, symbol, language, all these things are very crucial for the survival. So these are the two things, assimilation, adaptation, and the identity. Some of the narratives of Indian diaspora, and this is the first sentence, it's the most important, which struck me. My life has taken on new meaning by having 2 words, out of which has grown an awakened and richer self. Awakened and richer self is the thing, it's just like when the curd is churned, then when there is a butter. So when there is a conflict and you churn that and you come after the process, then you are shining like a butter and you are soft also. There's another statement, the relationship with your mom and the woman you fall in love. Either you can leave your mom, either you can leave your wife, because both of them you love. So the land where you left is also very dear to you, and the land where you are living is also dear to you. But somehow you have to resolve the. Then whether you are in America, in Canada, in Australia, in New Zealand, in Abu Dhabi, wherever you are Indian. That Indianness is ingrained, and that is the current, that is the root which is saving us, which is connecting us, and which is holding us. So Indianness is there. This is the Gopio, Ashok Ram Saran said. It's important for us to come back to India to know our roots, where we belong. This is the young diaspora. These are the stories very common, but I just want to highlight all these things too, so that you can get the know that now at present, when we are talking about the globalization, the whole world is the same. Whole world is the same, and within 10 years, I think there will be no difference. I came from Allahabad in, I think, 18 hours, and you can travel to America in 14 hours, 6 hours Europe, 6 hours Australia. So the world is like this. And if the process is like this, so it all depends on the person's subjective agent. How a change of social and cultural environment will impact on one's identity. How a person will adapt to the host culture is important issue. And why Indian diaspora is so significant, so successful. What is common in all this indomitable courage? And this is the speciality of Indian diaspora. We are just going to look at just one overlook of Indian diaspora history. 100-year history. It started in early 19th century. So this is the essence why everywhere Indians are being successful. They must have resolved their conflict, and then they have risen out of that conflict. So the young generation, they have to learn what is going to be there and how we have to resolve it. And this is called the acculturation process. It is different. Adjustment and acculturation. It's not adjustment. Acculturation process is that the host culture is influenced by you and you are influenced by the host culture. That's why when the wife of UK President Cameron's wife, she came, and Modi was there, she came wearing sari. What was that? Kurta pajama. Obama declaring holiday, Diwali holiday. These are the incidents of the acculturation process. That not only you are changed, but the other group where you are living is also changed. So this is the consequence of the conflict management. Let's have a look of Indian diaspora. Diaspora. The diaspora was used by the ancient Greeks to citizens of a grand city who migrated to the conquered land with the purpose of the colonization to assimilate the territory into the empire. Now the term diaspora is used to refer to people of any ethnic population. It refers to a range of ethnic communities, refugees, migrants, ethnic racial communities, transnational communities also they are formed there. Indian diaspora, this is in Suriname, South Africa, Trinidad, Fiji, Malaysia, then during 19th century, 20th century. This is the pattern of Indian immigration. The first phase was the indentured labor. When they did not want, they never knew. Some they were struggling with their poverty, and they knew that they will get the money. And so they had gone with the Britishers as a laborer to work in the fields. The second was the Kangani or the Mistri system, where the whole family migrated to the country. And then third was the migration of the trading caste from Gujarat to Africa. If you go to Africa, you'll find so many origin Indian, and they will be just like Indian. In 2012, I had gone to Cape Town, and there was a girl with Indian. I thought that she's Indian working there, and she told me, no, ma'am, I born here. So she was second generation diaspora over there. Then the fourth was after the independence. We know about the brain drain to England, America, all these educated professionals they had gone to. And fifth phase of migration can be said as the migration to Gulf countries. What are the general qualities of the Indian diaspora? Their own ancestors' dispersion, roots with the ancestors. Then there is a collective memory, which is we call nostalgia. Nostalgia is one thing which is the main oxygen for the diaspora living over there. The moment they feel some, then they will go to the Indian restaurant, have Indian. Just now, again, I will tell all those stories which I was hearing in the chamber of the Honorable Vice Chancellor. With your permission, sir, I would like to tell that story. There was a student from this Patiala University, how she did all these things, that she identified that she was living in India, and then she was ordering the tea. Ramu Chai Lao, she was sitting in the sofa, and then she was saying, Ramu Chai Lao, and after some time she would go to the kitchen, prepare the tea, and then she would again say that Ramu abhi tak chai nahi aayi, and then she would bring the tea, and then she would have it, and then she would say, aur bartan kaun utha kar le jayega, or the things like this. These are the lighter moments. The lighter moments, but what is the psychology? That if you are in a situation and you have to handle the situation, so there are two ways. Either you just say, what is this? I have come from India to Canada, I never knew about all these things. Then I can have the pleasure of all these things. So the nostalgia is very important thing in this characteristic. The treasuring of the collective past and commitment to maintenance, restoration of the homeland. This is very touchy thing. That is why NRIs, they are having the status of NRIs. But there is always need to serve the nation. The moment there is a question of India, they are very. What is the present scenario? Present scenario is what I was telling about Bobby Jindal, Nikki Haley, Ruby Bhalla, medical area ignored, then the economical, educational progress. This is the graph. So, in one sentence, if I say how Indian diasporas are managing, so they are having a little India in their heart. We are hearing the stories, you are seeing the TV, that Indian food, Indian restaurant, Indian yoga, all these things, Indian dress. Again, I will tell you one story. When I was there, I always maintained my ethnic appearance, and I was wearing bindi with my jeans. You go to South India, and even in India, if you go to South India, then the girls are wearing bindi with the jeans, because jeans is the comfortable dress and the bindi is their identity. So why should they lose it? So there was a guy who was asking, what is this she is putting it on the forehead? Can men also put? So these are the things which were very interesting, and then they don't know about the culture. So by this bindi only you can represent your India. And when the moment you see wear sari, people will see, oh, sari, so Indian. Just with the sari they will identify, and when you identified as an Indian and you feel proud Indian, then it's a good thing for your identity. So how they resolve this conflict? This is the Little India. This is the Indian cuisine in Canada. Then the Salamat Dakan ki Little India. Then the Fab India has launched. He's the famous designer. Fab India, West India. This is just the scene of the Little India. Now I would come to the main psychology. What is the main psychology in it? Just now we were talking about the diaspora, history, sociology. History, sociology, this is also very important to understand psychology. And to understand history and sociology, it is very important to understand psychology also. That's why this Diaspora Center is a center where all the disciplines are merged, and it needs to be studied and researched also. Acculturation is the dual process of cultural and psychological change that takes place as a result of contact between two or more cultural groups and their individual members. At the group level, it involves changes in social structures and institutions and in cultural practices. There's a John Berry, who's a very famous psychologist, and they have proposed this very controversial, I would say, the theory also about individualistic culture and the collectivistic culture. They say that Western culture is individualistic culture and the Asian culture, it is the collectivistic culture. And to some extent, it's true also that we can see that wherever we want to go with the people. If I have to go to the office, then somebody will take some friend along with it. So that collectivity, that joint family system, this is the main reason. Joint family system, the hierarchical system, our grandfathers, they have high status in our, and that joint family system, that high status, the moment we see any aged person, we would not say, although the uncle and auntie is quite much popular term these days, but the people of our age, we always say, earlier we used to say Masi, Chachi, Dada, Dadi, etc. So these are the collectivistic culture, and this is important, and it is accounted in acculturation process also. At individual level, it involves changes in person's behavioral repertoire. How? Those who are living in America and Canada for 10 years, for 12 years, for 30 years, for 20 years, when they come here along with their mineral bottles, along with their tissue papers, and then they are eating things and all those things. They want to have chole kulche here, they want to have that puchka, what is you call golgappe. But then they are scared. Oh, are you preparing this with mineral water? So these are the behavioral changes which are coming in them. These are at the psychological level. They have adopted this. Then socializing by adoption of behavioral patterns surrounding culture. The process of assimilation, cultural and psychological changes come about not in a one day, through a long-term process. It takes a long time. And during that long time process, there's a continuous conflict is going on. What to leave? Sometimes the dilemma is that we should break all the barriers and accept all those things from the attracting host culture. And sometimes it's like that, no, we have to retain our values. We have to hold our system because we have to survive. Then acculturation context is also very important. What do we mean by context? Which is the country? The activities which we are doing in Canada, which we are doing in America, in Australia, in New Zealand, can't do in Gulf countries. All these organizations which are being formed, because the laws are there, because those are the countries which accept the multi-ethnicity, plurality of the society, and they protect the right. And sometimes it also happens in Canada, they have certain rights for the children, and Indian diaspora, the parents, they are grudging, they are complaining about all these things. What is this that they are, because they want their children. The way we have studied, because Indian education system was so good, that's why mugging and all these things, that's why they are able to compete over there. So they say that you are here and they send them to the school, but in home, they want their homework to be done as an Indian way. This is the second generation conflict I will be talking about later on. So this is the acculturation context, which is very important. Some of the societies, they eliminate diversity through policies and programs of assimilation. They will make certain, in Canada, this is very popular, this is very common, then they will. Now this is the model which Berry has said, acculturation, the psychology of the group relation. There is a acculturation, there is an ethnic relation. There are two distinct things, that one who wants to maintain the ethnicity have gone there, but they don't want to mix up with the host culture. And the second is that the acculturation process, that okay, if we have to do all these things outside, we have to wear the pants, we go to the office, then there should be the formal dress. So the formal dress for the office and shalwar kameez and all those things for our Holi, Diwali occasions and all these things. This is the acculturation process. The contact, participation and cultural maintenance. We will contact with the host culture. We will go to the parties, we will go to the club, but we will maintain the culture also, our maintain. Then the acculturation attitude, behavioral shift. This is the model, I think. Now, this is the process about after the context, what happens? There is a culture A and there is a culture B and there is a contact. What you do, if you contact with the culture, what happens? And how do you contact with the culture? What kind of attitude you have for the culture and what kind of attitude you have for your own culture. These two things interact and then they decide about the psychological acculturation, individual and the adaptation. This is little bit a person who wants to contact and is also about the cultural maintenance will adopt the strategy of the integration, will integrate. In integration strategy, it happens integration, assimilation, separation and marginalization. These are the four strategies which are adopted by the acculturating person, and how they are adopted, what happens in integration. How much time is going on? No, you carry on. We are enjoying it. Okay. In integration, we are adopting the culture, but we are maintaining our own dress also. And enjoying the whole situation, the whole group law. Retains many personal cultural values but adapts the dominant culture by integration. Meghnad Desai again, he is a writer and economist in London. and his statement is very important to understand the integration. How successfully you can manage your conflict by adopting this strategy. It's not difficult. The moment you accept the reality that yes, we are in host culture and purposely we have come here, there was certain intention, and after coming here there are certain differences, but how to resolve this? So he says that I have multiple identities. I have an Indian identity, but most of the time I have a British identity. I don't lose my Indian identity, but I don't need it when I am dealing with the British culture. So when you are in Rome, behave like a Roman. That is the best strategy for the integration. Then there is another strategy which is separation. I don't want to. And that is also related with the attitude. If we have attitude that I don't like this culture or this culture is different, I have come here just to earn the money and I will go back within 10 years, or the moment I will get this much of money, I'll go back. So that person will not like to interact, will not like to maintain the contact with the host culture, and would maintain the separatist identity, identifies exclusively with a specific culture. They withdraw. There is no problem in this. If you are withdrawing, then there is no problem in this. But the problem, and then there is assimilation. Assimilation is that, yes, we have gone to the host culture, I know that this is that, but we have to adopt it, and somehow we become like that. So all those examples who are coming back from America to Canada here, and then carrying the mineral bottles and eatables, they won't give their things to children, then go. The food also I have heard, like, no, this has a glucose or gluten, no, this bread, so specific bread, specific bottles, specific cashews, specific almonds, all these things, but they have to come to India, so that is assimilation. The difficult thing is marginalization. Marginalization, what happens? The person does not like the own culture, native culture, but is not able to assimilate or adopt the attitude or the behavior of the host culture. So he feels marginalized. And sometimes what person has in feeling like somebody has gone there not by choice, just but with compulsion to go, and or things like that, that nobody had an idea that what would be the life like that. But they have gone there, then earned, and then they are settled there, and now they have their children. So in front of their children, they don't want to show that they had come here out of compulsion, and they show that we are enjoying this life.